Hi, my name is Storm, and I live in the high mountain desert in a log cabin with my family. I'm not a doctor, nor am I a nutritionist. I'm just a simple man who earns his living by carving walking sticks. I like functional art. I used to be a painter, and I did fairly well as a landscape painter. But at some point, I wanted to create something that people could hold in their hands, something that was solid, and something that was functional. And the question is, can we create a film that is without pathos, is without anger? Can we answer the question, is it possible to attain all of our nutrients from natural, organic, vegan food and eating it just the way it comes out of the ground? A lot of learned men, doctors and scientists and nutritionists seem to think that this is impossible, that we need to take supplements, that we need to eat meat and dairy products and a lot of processed and rich foods. I beg to differ with them. I think it is possible to attain all of our nutrients from the food we eat. And that is the premise for the following documentary that you're about to see. What if we were to raise children and we never gave them any junk food, any processed food, any food that had been treated with chemicals to kill the insects, any food that had been treated with weed killer to kill the weeds, and we raised them in nature, we raised them in the country and fresh air, and they had fresh water? Would it make a difference? What if we ate food that was designed for our body? Aging. All of us don't age at the same rate, which means that I'm like in my 56th year. So there are a lot of people who are in their 56th year, but we're not all 56 years old. Some of us are 85 years old, and some of us are in our 30s, even though, chronologically we're 56, biologically, is relative to how you feel, and you can slow the aging process down.
This is Raven. She was my first child. She's 11 years old now, and she has been a raw vegan for most of her life, vegan for all of her life, and she is a bit of a rebel, but she's very, very bright child. Always homeschools her siblings, loves to write and create, to play piano. She likes a lot of action in her life. So if she's bored, we're gonna get some action. My cousin Erika, we call her Eek. She visited me from Sweden, and I hadn't seen her since she was 9 years old. she saw our website. My brother told her about it, and she was so excited she came over to visit us. She was already into health because 5 years ago she had broken her back. She fell through a hayloft and broke her back, and this led her to become very overweight, which in turn led her to start researching healthy eating. And so she cut out sugar and dairy and chemicals, processed foods, of course, and she started feeling so much better. She became a personal trainer, and that's what she does in Sweden now. She is a personal trainer for the Gothenburg hockey team, and she then came over here to visit and went raw for 6 weeks when she came to visit us. And all her little persisting problems that she still had, some of her bad health days, went away when she was raw. So she became a big advocate of the raw diet and is now teaching it in Sweden. The kids have to work out just like adults on this diet. If you don't work out, you are going to get skinny and you're going to get that weak, looking body that a lot of people associate with vegetarians and vegans and raw vegans. I think people go on this diet and they realize they don't have to work out to lose weight, so they just don't incorporate the workouts in their diet. But of course, with kids, with men, with anyone who wants to, look healthy or be healthy, you have to keep working out. Working out is part of life.
So we play tag, we do mountain climbing, we go kayaking, we ride bikes, so this is like a huge part of the diet. Without this part, without the family moving together, doing these activities, I think that the kids would become emaciated. Whereas the way it is now, they have a lot of energy. Now this is my nephew Satya. Satya is an incredible person. I just can't say enough about how much admiration I have for him, because he agreed to go raw and see the effect that it would have upon his weight. From the moment he made that decision, he did not waver. When he was at our house, of course, it was easy because everything was raw and everything was organic. But the moment he went home, he was subjected to all types of other temptations. And I would be getting all these calls back, man, we can't corrupt Satya. Satya just eating oranges. If he didn't have no food, he wouldn't eat nothing at all. Then he'd drive all the way up and have a meal with us, and we're like 2 hours away. He was a picture of impeccability. He was totally impeccable. And not only was he impeccable, but he worked really, really hard, which goes hand in hand with the raw food diet. So between the working out, toning up, and sticking to the diet, he was able to shed 75 pounds. And I know that a lot of people would like to get his results and shed 75 pounds in 3 months. But most people are not willing to work and discipline themselves on the same level that Satya did, which is why he got the results that he did.
30 pounds. Wow.
30 on the nose. Our scale is right. What do you know?
Okay. 40. Hey, good job. Good boy.
Why does the doctor make my blood?
So they can look at it under a microscope and see what's happening with you.
Mm.
Is that okay? You need all of your blood?
I have had 2 raw vegan pregnancies and 2 cooked vegan pregnancies.
Here's something that's really very, very amazing. This is Ginge in her 4th pregnancy with Adagio. This is about 2 weeks before she delivered. She hiked 5 miles a day, every day, all through the winter. And we're now into the spring. She didn't gain any weight. Ankles didn't swell. No morning sickness. Was able to work out every single day. She only gained 10 pounds, which is really phenomenal to have this much energy in the 3rd trimester of a pregnancy. All of her other pregnancies were home births. I assisted. I was sort of like the midwife. It was just her and I. And here you see her 10 days, just 10 days after Adagio was born, just full of energy, vibrant. Considering the fact that this is her 4th pregnancy and that she has been nursing, she nursed all of her children at least 3 years. I think Raven was nursed for 4 years. I think that this alone is a testimonial to the nutritional density of a raw vegan diet.
Cooked raw was the pattern. The 2 cooked ones resulted in 30 to 40 hour labors, and the 2 raw vegan ones resulted in a 2-hour and a 45-minute labor.
Anything in her past history? Any major illnesses, hospitalizations?
Nothing.
Nothing, okay. And was she born full-term,
Yes.
normal delivery?
Yes, she is.
Okay. Do you remember her birth weight?
7 pounds.
So
All right.
do you find a direct correlation between average weight and health? Like, he just seems like he's like so healthy and has so much energy, in the same way with Shell. It's
Right.
super quick and super alert.
Right.
And I think both of these guys are a little under 2.
Mm.
You know, my family has always run very lean,
Yeah.
but you know, like
Yeah,
this.
no, it's a lot of times it's constitutional, which means it runs in the family. So if you are underweight, doesn't mean that you are sick.
Okay.
By no means. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, a lot of people are lean and they are healthy as any can be. So
Right.
I wouldn't say that it's any indication of, poor health or anything. Especially if they haven't been sick, which they haven't. I mean, there's some.
Everybody's thriving.
Yeah,
We're all
so,
thriving.
yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay. The reason yesterday was such a big day was because Gingy.
We looked up the kids' heights and weights online against the national CDC charts, and we were pleasantly surprised to find that Joan, who is 8 years old, is taller than 90% of boys his age and is the exact median weight of boys his age.
9 months after we went to the clinic and Shell was a little on the low side, her height came up to the top 90% and her weight came up to the average. While Raven's height is a little on the low end, her weight is at the average. And so our children are really doing very, very well, considering the fact that they are completely 100% raw vegans. So in closing, we have tried to cover a lot of ground in this documentary film. I think that raw food is one of the ultimate weight loss diets of our time. We've showed 3 examples of people just within our family who have lost over 30, 40 pounds or more and kept the weight off. I think it's a beautiful way to raise children. Haven't really even scratched the surface in this film of the amazing things that I've observed just in my own children being on raw food and their ability to focus, their ability to absorb knowledge and information. Snow and I are extreme athletes. We do extreme sports. Joan is also capable of doing extreme sports. You know, it's like we do intense hiking all on raw food. The amount of energy of raw food is incredible. I think it's an incredible anti-aging diet. It hydrates you from the inside out.
Is it possible to eat raw, organic, vegan food and be healthy?